I was always told where the river trees grow, the salmon will swim. Back in the old days, there was a lot of fish in this river. Within the next 55 years, the salmon are going to be extinct. And that boils down to everybody doing their part. Those who say, oh, how important is it to bouquet up Homo people? It's a lifeline.
Why is this land important? It's important to the Aboriginal tribes that originally occupied this land. One of the major reasons I think BLM acquired this land was to maintain the coastal prairie and also the ranching lifestyle of the Stornetta family.
I was really fortunate to be raised here and have what we had and be able to do what I did and share it with other people. Yeah. Really fortunate. Original owner was my grandfather, A.O. Stornetta. He purchased this ranch in 1917. We've been in business ever since, and we go by the name of Stornetta Brothers. That's the Garcia River. It goes right through the middle of the ranch down to that ocean frontage. There was a lot of fish back in the day, and there used to be a lot of locals fishing. I remember zipping down the river as fast as I could get down there and breaking my fishing pole, going through the gate too fast and fish for an hour and then come up here and go to work. You have a healthy river, it helps everything.
The Garcia River for the past 100 years has seen a rapid decline in a very endangered species, coho salmon. There was about 1% of its former population. This watershed and about 5 others on the Mendocino coast are the battlegrounds for preserving these fish in Northern California. The biggest influence on this watershed has been historic timber harvesting. Salmon populations suffered because there was too much timber waste in the creek. And then environmental conservationists came in and removed all this logging waste from the creek, and that actually was also detrimental to these streams. In channels that have no structure, the fish just get beat up and killed, especially during high flow conditions in winter.
Imagine if you're a fish that's only, this big, 4 or 5 inches long at the most, and you have to make it through epic peak flow events where we just get days and days and days of rain. There's no way you're going to make it. You need to find flow refuge. And if you don't have flow refuge, you're going to end up getting shunted out to the ocean much sooner than you could survive out there. So that's what we're creating here, is that flow refuge and feeding habitat for those young fish so they can make it through their first winter. They need to be able to get out and get into the slow water.
We know through all of the science that's been done on the salmon, and especially coho, is that they have a huge affinity for wood. That's where they like to hang out. There was maybe 2 pieces of wood in this whole estuary when we were here in the mid-2000s. The whole project design was focused on getting really complex, big wood structures along the banks, along the whole length. They really need the complex wood structure in order to hide and feed and then move at times when they feel safe for doing so.
These populations are so low at this point, it's really important to know where they're at relative to the recovery targets that have been set. If these are really successful projects here, they're projects we should be doing in a lot of watersheds along the coast.
Yeah, so this project was a long time in the making, and it's a product of a whole bunch of partners and people who worked diligently over many, many years. And I think the end result is the strongest possible project that we could have done.
The Garcia and some of the other watersheds on this north coast are beautiful. They have some of the highest potential for salmon recovery, and the fact that I've been able to work on them and be part of their transformation to functioning better is it pretty much feels like the culmination of my career for me. Being out here and seeing the salmon start to use the wood that we put in immediately is really validating.
In the past, we planted some redwood seedlings up and around this riverbank just to get back to the land to help the fish. Sometimes you have to listen to the animals. There's some eagles, they built a nest. The fish are their main food source. That pretty much tells me there is hope. The river's coming back to life. That the fish are going to repopulate.
This is an opportunity for us to really try to implement projects like this and make a difference and take a stand and try to keep this species at least alive in California, if not restore some of the historic runs that we've all heard about, where you can walk across the river on the backs of salmon.